Tonight, we sit down with women's basketball player Mackenzie Hare in an exclusive one-on-one interview.
Meanwhile, did the men's team win the Battle of Wisconsin?
Thank you for joining us. Our last episode of Golden Eagle Sports Report of 2023 starts right now.
Slam! Dunk! Oh, that's a poster.
From the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagle Sports Report.
Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ben Hansen, joined by Matthew Baltz. Tonight, we start with a one-on-one interview with women's basketball player Mackenzie Hare.
Assistant Sports MMJ Gabriel Cicerica is sitting with her in the studio. Gabriel?
Yeah, thank you guys so much. And joining me today is indeed sophomore phenom Mackenzie Hare. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So Kenzie, just right off the bat, let's take a trip down memory lane. Last season, your freshman year, you had a ton of highs and ultimately some lows towards the end. You know, you were a first team all-freshman player in the Big East. And ultimately, the women's basketball team did indeed make the NCAA tournament. But you guys lost in heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about how your freshman experience was and what you took from the end of that season?
Yeah, I mean, freshman year overall was pretty great. I think as a freshman, there's a bunch of highs and lows. And I mean, luckily I had a great group of teammates, seniors that could help me. I mean, Chloe Murata, she was great as a leader. You know, Jordan, Chloe, Liza, Rose, all of them were just really great leaders and helping me, you know, through the highs and lows, especially when you get on the court. There's a lot of learning experiences there, and I had a great staff behind me too, and Coach Duffy. Gosh, the end of the season, that last game, that was a rough one, but I think it just gives us even more of a drive to get back there.
Yeah, I don't want to end on that low point. So can you tell me what was your probably favorite moment from your freshman season?
Oh, it has to be beating UConn at home. That was just incredible. I mean, the locker room afterwards, the pouring water on Coach Duffy. I mean, that was incredible, especially to do it at home in front of our amazing fans. That was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Beating UConn was a really fun game to be at personally for me. And then moving on, you talked about Chloe Murata, and you guys also lost Emily LaChapelle last season. But Coach Duffy and staff brought in 6 new players. Can you tell me a little bit about the offseason and what you guys did to, you know, gain some chemistry with your new teammates? Yeah,
I mean, we got the amazing opportunity to go on our Europe trip. So we went to Italy and Greece for about 10 days. And it was absolutely amazing. I mean, especially with 6 new girls, like you said, we have to create our culture. We have to kind of learn a lot about each other. And that Europe trip was amazing, an opportunity for that.
And can you tell me a little bit about Europe? Like, who did you guys play? What was the experience like? Maybe some food that you had?
Yeah, we played 3 games there. So we played a team from Rome, and then we played 2 teams from Greece. I mean, it was crazy. The balls are different. I mean, we practiced with that European ball throughout the summer, kind of leading up to that. And then the court was even different. Okay. The paint was bigger. It was kind of weird, but I mean, it was a great experience. We had a lot of fun. Good,
and it's definitely a big cultural difference. But I think moving on for this season, the women's basketball team is 8-0, and it's the best start in program history. Your team is ranked 19th in the country, and it's the highest that the women's basketball team has ever been under Coach Duffy. Can you tell me how the team has been firing on all cylinders?
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to get better every single day. I mean, every practice is an opportunity for us to step on the court and get better as individuals and then get better as a team. So we don't take that opportunity lightly. I mean, we're 8-0, but we have a lot of improvement and a lot of things to get better at. So we're just kind of excited. We don't think we've played our best basketball yet, so we're excited to see where that takes us.
Yeah, absolutely. And focusing more on you, Kenzie. You come into your next game against Illinois State as the #1 ranked three-point shooter in the country, shooting at about 60% from the field. Last season, your biggest critique from most people was your shot selection and kind of how you always had the green light no matter what. Can you tell me a little bit about what has changed for you going into the sophomore season?
Yeah, I think just becoming a more balanced 3-level scorer. just being able to get my teammates in positions to score as well, using passing and setting screens and stuff like that. We worked really hard on the off season, of course, always in the gym, getting my shots up, especially when I'm tired after our conditioning sessions, going to put more shots up, and then just having supreme confidence in myself, and my teammates do as well, and so do my coaching staff. So, it's easy to play for them when you know they have your back.
Absolutely. And would you say that you're working harder than you were last season, or is this kind of like icing on the cake from all the work that you've put in so far?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I think I've always had that same kind of drive. I think it's just more of a comfortability in it. Freshman year, you're all over the place. School's different. Basketball, it's nothing like you've ever done before. So now that you've been through it, you understand it. I think there's just you can take a deep breath and really look at it from an outside perspective, and then attack the day instead of kind of survive through it.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. You talk about attacking the day, and Kenzie, you've improved in every single statistical category from your freshman season to now your sophomore year. Can you tell me a little bit more about just the confidence that you're playing with now?
Yeah, for sure. I think just believing in myself, in everything I do, whether it's attacking the rim, which I didn't do too much last year, or getting into my mid-range. I think adding those levels, and then also my defense, I think that's something I really improved on. I focused on that heavily in our off season, as well as watching film, getting to watch back. There's a lot of mistakes you make in a basketball game. There's a lot of things you did well too. So I think it's important to look at both of those and continue to improve. No,
I totally agree. And the Marquette faithful here can definitely tell that you've improved your game for sure. Now let's take a look. Moving ahead, you have Illinois State this weekend, and then after that, an in-conference game against the number 22 ranked Creighton Blue Jays. Last season against Creighton, those games were not so close. When we talk about both games, you lost by more than double digits. What needs to change this time around going into these games and really kind of cementing your mark, being in a top 25 program?
Yeah, I think we just have to get off kind of to a solid start. I think the start's really important. You can't dig yourself a hole with Creighton. I think just being able to play our game, and our coaching staff does a great job of scouting both teams. So being confident in that, and then getting to what we do best and being able to execute, I think that's what's most important. Absolutely.
And I think moving on as a whole, looking back at your Marquette basketball experience, what's been your favorite memory so far here playing for Marquette?
Oh, gosh. I want to say that UConn win. I think that was just something that, especially for Chloe, that's her first time being able to do that. And then, we gave them back-to-back losses. That was just incredible. But I think something else that is just showing up every day with the teammates. I love every person on my team. They are so fun to be around, and it definitely makes showing up to practice each day so enjoyable.
That's really good to hear, and we can tell, watching from the outside, that this team is really, really close.
Yeah.
You mentioned UConn multiple times now, just kind of the feeling of beating a program so historic. Jean Uriema and that program is just, they're the standard for women's basketball.
Right.
What was it like afterwards when it really set in, we just beat UConn? What was it like for the team?
Oh gosh, it was crazy. We kind of spent that night together. We all went to dinner together. We were watching on the TV, and we were seeing us on ESPN, and it was just so incredible. I think it was just kind of went into all the hard work we put in throughout the season. That week leading up to UConn, we scouted them, we prepared for them, we were ready for it, and UConn smells blood. They know if you're scared, and they're going to capitalize on that. So just being able to understand that we know we can do this and we can beat them, and I think we can beat anyone. So.
Yeah, and clearly it worked out.
Yep.
Kenzie, let's move away from basketball a little bit. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the things that you like to do outside of basketball, maybe some of your hobbies?
Yeah, I enjoy being around my teammates. I enjoy some of my teammates and we did this little clue thing the other day, some board games. So you solve a mystery. That was pretty fun. We play this game called cribbage, a card game. Kind of anything like that, I think, especially being around my teammates. But other than that, any kind of activity, I like spike ball. We always play that at the beach.
That's a good one.
Yeah, kind of anything really.
I know, being on a basketball team and with a bunch of girls who are super competitive, does it get like that too when you're playing board games and whatnot?
Oh yeah, I mean we spend a lot of time at our coach's house. Coach Duffy will have us over, and we'll be playing. She'll set up pickleball in her driveway. It gets so competitive. I mean we're sweating by the time it's dinner time, but it's just so much fun.
Who's coming out on top?
Oh, me every time.
That's what we'd like to hear. Moving on to a bit of some rapid fire questions. Ken, do you have any pre-game or post-game rituals? Something you have to do either before or after the game?
I mean, I straighten my hair before every game.
Okay.
I watch some Criminal Minds before every game,
That's a
which
good
is
one,
like
okay.
weird, but I've done it since high school, so I don't know. It's just kind of something I've been doing.
And Kenzie, thank you so much for your time, but that is all the time that we
Thank
have.
you.
Now, back to the boys in the studio.
Thank you, Kenzie and Gabriel. Coming up, we take a look at the women's basketball success.
Plus, did the men's team win their in-state rivalry? Find that out and more after the break.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Welcome back to GESR. Once again, I'm Ben Hansen.
And I'm Matt Baltz.
Riding a 7-game win streak to start the year, the women's basketball team puts its undefeated record on the line versus the University of Pennsylvania.
Senior forward Liza Carling gets the party started in the Al McGuire Center with a quick jumper in the lane.
But senior forward Jordan Obi responds right back with a jumper of her own.
Both teams continue to trade baskets throughout the rest of the quarter, and the Golden Eagles only lead by 6 at the end of the first frame.
But sophomore sharpshooter Mackenzie Hare proves she came to play, hitting 3 3-pointers in the first quarter.
The second quarter starts off slow for both teams as senior forward Franny Hottinger scores the first points for either team in the 3 minutes.
Senior guard Jordan King goes on to score the next 5 points for the Golden Eagles, extending their lead to 14.
Marquette goes down to the halftime break up 37-24.
The halftime break bodes well for Marquette as the Golden Eagles soar into the third.
Hare and Hottinger both continue to stretch the lead for Marquette, hitting shot after shot in the third quarter.
The Golden Eagles only let the Quakers score 9 points in the third and lead by 36 going into the final frame.
Marquette never eases up and goes on to beat Penn 87-52 and stay perfect on the season.
In the win, Jordan King scored her 1,500th point, becoming just the 14th player in Marquette history to reach that feat. Hottinger leads with Marquette with 20 points and 8 rebounds and was one of 3 Golden Eagles to end the day in double figures.
Hottinger said that she knew early that it was going to be one of those great shooting nights.
I would say I knew kind of early on that the post defense was a little bit, we were going to be able to get touches inside, and Liza had a couple really great early feeds in, and so that was fun because I knew we were going to be able to get that all night long from the post position.
You guys have had multiple players drop 10.
With the 8-0 start, the Golden Eagles move up 4 spots in the latest AP poll and find themselves ranked number 19 in the country.
This is the second straight week the Golden Eagles are ranked, and this is the highest ranking in the Megan Duffy era.
Mackenzie Hare also finds herself on the Big East honor roll after scoring 17 points in the win, shooting 83% from beyond the arc.
2 years in a row, the men's basketball team has fell short to in-state rivals UW-Madison. After dominating Southern, they look to keep up the pressure and snap the losing streak in Madison. The first half was of a game downhill battle for Marquette, struggling to gain any type of momentum.
10 minutes into the game, and the Golden Eagles were trailing 22-13.
It seemed as if Marquette had a lid on the rim, the way shots were just not falling for this team.
In a matter of 4 minutes and Marquette not scoring in 2 of those, Madison drove up the score 36-23.
Just when you thought things were over, Cam Jones sinks a last-second three before heading to the locker room in hopes of giving the Golden Eagles some energy for that second half.
However, it did not seem to give as much of a boost as anticipated.
Madison continued to dominate the rebounding game, retaining 52% of their misses, leading to 18 second-chance buckets, while Marquette only collected 17% of their own.
Madison would go on to win the game for the 3rd straight year in a row, 75-64, with 4 players putting on a clinic, scoring double digits.
The Golden Eagles might be 6-2, but head coach Shaka Smart reiterates that the team has a ways to go to build its championship caliber team.
I told the guys after, I said, hey, we clearly have a long way to go building our championship habits on the defensive end. Guarding the basketball, blocking out and rebounding, being quicker to the ball, defeating screens, contesting outside shots, clearly. And it's December 2nd, so it's an opportunity for us to grow and learn. A game like this hurts. There were some tears in the locker room because guys really want to win. But it's time to be a big boy, and step forward, and that goes for every one of us.
Tomorrow night, the men's basketball team gets another chance to prove themselves on national television when they host number 12 Texas in the Big 12 Big East battle.
This is the 5th year of the battle, and Marquette is 3-1 in the series, most recently upsetting Baylor last year, 92-70.
This will be just the 2nd time the Golden Eagles will be playing the Longhorns, with the first meeting coming in 1977, with Marquette taking the victory 65-56.
And this will be the first time that head coach Shaka Smart will be playing his former team since he left in 2021.
Smart had a 109-86 record in 6 seasons at Texas and 4 postseason appearances.
Marquette is coming off a tough loss to Madison, whereas Texas is coming off a dominating win over in-state foe Texas State.
The Golden Eagles will try to keep their undefeated home record and get back into the win column tomorrow at 7 p.m.
The women's volleyball team saw their season come to an end in the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament at the hands of the Purdue Boilermakers.
Hoping to get revenge on their 5-set loss earlier in the year, the Golden Eagles find themselves in a hole, down 2-0 early on.
Aubrey Hamilton and Hattie Bray come alive, though, and help Marquette fend off elimination as the team wins the 3rd set, 26-24.
Marquette continues to dominate during the 4th set, but could not finish, and Purdue comes back to take the set and the match, sending the Golden Eagles home in 4 sets. Aubrey Hamilton ends the night with a team-high 22 kills, and Hattie Bray adds 17 of her own.
Marquette ends the year with a 21-11 record and its 3rd straight Big East regular season championship.
Hamilton earns AVCA All-Region First-Team honors after her tremendous season for Marquette, with Bray joining her as an honorable mention selection.
For our last show of the year, we want to give out our GSER Awards of the month of November. First up, Team of the Month, the women's basketball team. No surprises here as the women win the award after jumping out to the best start in program history at 8-0.
The Golden Eagles are playing its best basketball under coach Megan Duffy and are ranked 19th in the country.
Marquette is the lone undefeated team remaining in the Big East.
Staying with women's basketball, sophomore guard Mackenzie Hare is our MVP of the month.
Yeah, and Hare currently has the best three-point percentage in the country, shooting an astounding 59% from beyond the arc.
Hare scored 19 points against Penn while also making 5 of her 6 three-point shots versus the Quakers.
And after her performance, Hare was named to the Big East Weekly Honor Roll.
Hare is currently averaging almost 17 points and 3 rebounds, adding 22 assists and 10 steals in 8 games.
Women's basketball sweeps our awards this month after Skylar Forbes brings home our Newcomer of the Month award.
The first-year forward played a career-high 26 minutes on Sunday, scoring 4 points and grabbing 10 rebounds and dishing out 4 assists.
Forbes is averaging 6 points and 4 rebounds in her first 8 games for Marquette.
Forbes also has 10 assists and 10 blocks on the year. Coming up this week in Marquette Athletics,
The number 8 ranked Marquette men's basketball team hosts number 12 Texas tomorrow at the Pfizer Forum at 7 p.m.
The men are back in action again Saturday versus Notre Dame at Pfizer Forum at 8 p.m.
Finally, the number 19 ranked women's basketball team heads south to play Illinois State on Sunday at 2 p.m.
Coming up in professional sports, did the College Football Playoff Committee get it wrong?
Plus, who's winning the Heisman? Find out after the break.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world? You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Have you ever seen somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin?
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and what do you think about it?
Talk to young children about what racism is, giving them the language to understand it. They can be disruptors. They can shape and shift culture.
We may not always know the answer, but we'll try and help you learn.
You don't have to have all the answers, but that doesn't mean we can't start.
There are a lot of ways to reach out to a friend about their mental health. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
What are you looking for?
And welcome back to Studio 7 as we discuss the latest news in professional sports. Joining me on the panel tonight is Tommy Gilchrist and Mikey Severson. Let's get started. With Jordan Love's recent success, the 2020 NFL Draft has produced 5 quality starting QBs. While the future is bright, is the 2020 QB class the best ever? If not, what QB class is better?
I mean, it's tough to say best ever already. I mean, they're all really young, very promising, and they have the potential to maybe be the best ever. But for now, I still think you got to put 1983 class in there, 2004 ahead of them. You got some just no doubt Hall of Famers. You got Jim Kelly, John Elway, Dan Marino. I mean, these are names that we're not playing around with. And in football, you never know when it's your last day on the field. So you just you don't know about injuries and stuff. So while they have the potential, I don't want to say they're the best ever yet.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you there, Tommy, but like, look at the quarterback classes that are around the 2020 QB classes. 2019, 3 quarterbacks that, I mean, arguably aren't as good as 2020 QB class. I mean, 2018 class, you got a couple busts in there, like Josh Rosen. Mega bust. He's out of the league right now. Josh Rosen, not Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, they're not on the teams that drafted them. They failed to live up to expectations. But 2020 QB draft class, I mean, you got Tua, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and I know there's a 5th quarterback in there. Jordan Love, cream of the crop here in Wisconsin.
Too many to count.
Still, the way they're playing, they're on pace to just dominate the league.
Oh, for sure. I'd give them the best in the last decade or so, but I want to pump the brakes a little bit on best ever. Maybe a few more years.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a battle of the past and the present.
Yeah,
really,
exactly. Maybe a little recency bias.
Yeah. So the college football playoff is set, and there's loads of controversy. 13-0, FSU did not make the playoffs. This is the first time ever where an undefeated Power 5 school doesn't make the playoffs. Should FSU have made the playoffs?
I mean, yeah, FSU clearly should have made the playoffs. It's about mindset here in terms of like who wants, like it's about more than football here. Football is a team sport. When one player goes down, does that mean the whole team should suffer because of it? No. I mean, yeah, the win against Louisville wasn't pretty in the ACC championship game, but look at Bama. They needed a Hail Mary to beat an Auburn team that lost to New Mexico State. So, and Bama got into the playoff. Yes, they beat Georgia, but still, they lost the game to Texas, who also got into the college football playoff. But I think just because Jordan Travis is down doesn't mean the whole Florida State team should suffer because of it. I mean, yes, they're going to play Georgia in the Citrus Bowl, or Orange Bowl, but I feel like something about that does not sit right with me. Like, yes, they're down their QB, and I think the committee's more interested in creating the most marketable matchup compared to getting the best, not best team, but the team that is most deserving of it throughout the season into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, I would wholeheartedly agree. I think it's a tough situation. I mean, obviously, that Florida State is not going to be at full strength, but I mean, it's just you're a Power 5 school. You win every game on your matchup. This games have to mean something, and when you're taking that away and you're saying a one-loss Alabama team is allowed to sneak in because they're in the SEC and they beat a great Georgia team, and that gets precedent over being undefeated Power 5 school, I just think that sends the wrong message, and there should be standards. And if you're a Power 5 school and you go undefeated and win your conference, you should be a lock to make the playoff. But that's why it's going to be better in a 12-team format.
And of course, I mean, undefeated, you should make it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do any better.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, along with the college football playoffs, the Heisman finalists were revealed too. Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., Bo Nix, and Michael Penix. But who will win the award?
I'm going Jaden Daniels. I think he's been the best dual threat in college football with throwing and running. I mean, he had 50 total touchdowns this year. I think 3-4 interceptions, and he had to play with an abysmal defense. He was winning shootouts. He lost a couple of shootouts, but without him, LSU would have been struggling a lot more this year. I think when you got candidates like Michael Penix, Bo Nix, they're great, but I mean, Michael Penix looked pretty pedestrian in a couple of games, and against Washington State, Oregon State had pretty pedestrian numbers. So I think you got to take him out of it. You're looking at Bo Nix, that Pac-12 championship game. I mean, that he just came up too short, and that's going to take you out of a Heisman when it's such a competitive field. And Jaden Daniels, I mean, he carried LSU this year. He's my no doubt Heisman.
Yeah, I got to agree with Tommy here that Jaden Daniels will be my pick too.
Awesome. Thanks for the great discussion. We're out of time, but we will be back next semester with even more coverage of Marquette sports and more. Until then, good night and happy holidays, Marquette.
Who butchers my name constantly?
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Roll over. When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting. Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor. It's time we take a step forward, come together,
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.